Okay, we're back with part 2 of the Touch8 Max firmware upgrade. And once the timer, the 20 minutes, is up, you're going to do a hard reset. And the hard reset requires a pin to be pressed right here to this particular pinhole next to the main adapter for the Touch8 tablet. At the 20-minute mark, you press the hard reset, and your Android tablet, your tablet will reboot. So I will go ahead and reboot, and when it reboots, it should look something like this. And the important part should show the boot image with AndroidTouchPC.com and the little Android guy in the bottom right. This shows that you did everything right in part 1 of the tutorial and you're running the most up-to-date firmware. Now, if you go ahead and log in, you'll notice a couple different things. The applications that we installed on this particular firmware have all of Google's applications: Android Market, Gmail, Contacts, Calendar, Google Maps, Google Talk. All of those particular applications are all installed on this firmware release, including some social apps, Facebook, Twitter, and whatnot. But all of those are installed and working on this particular firmware. Before we go into all of that, though, in order to get all that to function properly, we need to do a data reset on the device. And the way we do that is we're going to reboot once again. So we're going to turn off the device, power off, power off. It's going to shut all the way down, and then we're going to hold the top 2 rocker buttons at the same time while switching the power back on, and that will boot into recovery mode. Now what you want to do here, if we can see, here's your options that you have, and we want to select the option Wipe Data Factory Reset. And the way you do that is by selecting with the rocker. You can press the right rocker one time to factory reset, and then select with the center button. Go back to the rocker, select delete all user data, yes, back to this select, and then you can see it's starting to wipe the data. This basically is flushing everything out after the recovery image, mainly user data, so that when Android Market can accept a new user, Gmail can accept an account, all of that. Okay, now that it's flushed, it's automatically set at reboot system now. You're going to select that. It will reboot. It will go to the touchscreen calibration, which you will calibrate. Give it a second. Once the calibration's done, it will go back to a regular boot and allow you to set up your Google accounts, your Gmail, and whatnot. Once again, reminding of us of who's the greatest development team on the Android tablet market, Android Touch PC. Thanks to yours truly and Mr. Broken Codes. You could even see me in the reflection of this video behind the camera. If we had some HDMI out, we could obviously get a much better picture and video setup on this. The initial boot after the factory reset is going to take a little bit longer than usual. It's basically loading up the cache with all kinds of goodies. I may just edit out all of this since I seem to continue to be talking. Okay, now you are at the main screen. Andy, you can see Welcome to Touch8, and just like any other Android device, you'll go through the setup, which I will skip for now, and what we're going to do is reboot one more time. Okay, now this next reboot is mainly for getting to Wi-Fi to work properly. There's a bunch of technical behind it, but to make things simple in this tutorial, the first time that you boot after the factory data reset and after the firmware upgrade, you're going to require one more reboot, and that reboot will ensure that your Wi-Fi works. If for some reason after you do these first two steps, the firmware upgrade and the factory data reset, make sure you reboot once, if not even twice, we've seen on some tablets, to get the Wi-Fi to work properly. Turn back on just as you normally would. It should come up a lot faster this time. At any point during this whole process, you probably should take out the 8 GB mini SD card, which I've noticed is still in mine, but it will not hurt anything unless you actually run the Touch8 setup updater, which we have not done again. Alright, so at this point you're all set up, Andy's ready to go, and the next tutorial will just go over the installation of additional APKs, Adobe, testing, whatnot. But for now, to cut this one short, the firmware is pretty much done. Just a matter of installing the Adobe APK and any other files that you wish to install at that time. Thanks.